Hey everybody, GhostJunk here with another Turtle WoW video. Not necessarily the last Turtle WoW video, but definitely a goodbye video. I know I'm a little late to the party with these because I was pushing out so much of the other stuff. I spent like the last several weeks recording, editing, uploading, and I didn't have a lot of time to do this video, but I'm glad you're getting a chance to see the final hours. This is the final hours of Turtle WoW. Everybody's sort of having a DJ party there. But I wanted to show a couple things and say a couple things in this video. I know probably not many of you are going to see it, which is fine, but I kind of wanted to do this one for me a little bit more instead of making videos to help people. But anyway, I wanted to show my characters in their full, glory is not the right word, but like their full state, I guess. You know, on Actrin the Paladin, I collected so many different pieces of gear. I had tier 2, full sets of tier 2 twice. Bits and pieces of other stuff here. My reflect set, all these different pieces of gear because I kept flip-flopping between spell ret and attack damage ret for a short period of time, and then I just went holy and never really went to ret all that often. All these little mishmash trinket items, all these little helpful items that, you know, were kind of great to have throughout the game, all these spell hit items. I even managed to pick up a splinter of Atiash on my final Dax run that I was able to go to. All the different Librams that they added into the game for Paladins, which was such a huge help. You know, some Paladin specific items. I got that really cool Axe Corrosion from Timbermaw Hold. And also, you know, my gear, full T3, basically, right? I also had a couple pieces from Kara 40 that you saw in the bank. It was a necklace and a ring, but, you know, I didn't quite do that raid as much as I wanted to. I didn't even get one in for the last one, but anyway. Full T2.5 for ret, because I was ret first. Corrupted Ashbringer. A ton of different consumes for healing primarily. I had a full set of T3 that I just never got around to like cashing in because I didn't have the scraps to do it. But yeah, just tons of stuff. And then I have a Bank Tune as well, Bankdrin. I know you know that's funny. And he had a lot of materials that I would use for engineering or not blacksmithing, but mining, or if I needed it for quests or whatever. It was all on him. And then my druid, Drazel, as many of you saw in various different videos, such as the Scythe video. But here she is in all of her completed state. You know, I was feral originally until I got Scythe. So I had like a full set of T2.5. I got a Kiss of the Spider on my last Nax run with her, which is ironic, but also very fitting for me. Tons of different idols. I was working on some of the items from AQ20 because they were pretty good for Feral as well. A bunch of different idols. Scythe of Elune, of course. No Moonkin could be complete without that. Nelth tier, Soul Seeker, you know, full T2.5, which has a lot of crit, which was good for Boomkins at the time. Didn't get too many pieces of tier 3 for Boomkin, but, you know, really wanted to. A lot of on-hit items, because I was going to do a video on Laser Cat, or the Elemental Cat, as a lot of people like to call it. Didn't get around to doing it because they made some changes that kind of made it not so great, but something that I was going to do, but just I didn't have time to. A bit of a Feral Tank set, a couple T3 pieces, as I mentioned. The odd thing here and there. A couple of consumes here and there too, just random stuff I had in my bag, you know. And then my bank alt, which had a lot of, pretty much all my consumes for both characters. Plus a lot of herbs that I had farmed up over the last little while that I had used, but I farmed up more and then didn't get a chance to use. But a lot of different consumables, from defensive potions to offensive potions, food, you name it. Yeah, just a lot of different stuff, you know. I not only had this particular character, but I had another character for the druid primarily, which had a few consumes, but also had like excess herbs that I just couldn't fit on either character. I bought a bunch of consumes too, in the hopes that maybe Turtle WoW wasn't going to shut down, and you know, but anyway. The next little bit's just going to be a bunch of clips, so I'm not going to go through every single one except for this one, which was my druid officially getting Scythe. This part wasn't actually in the Scythe video because I hadn't gotten Scythe at that time, and then like 3 weeks later I got Scythe, but it's okay. But I recorded it anyway just because I thought it would be a fun little memento for me and for maybe other people. But, I mean, just to see what happens. But anyway, I got Scythe. I was so stoked about this at the time. You know, the guild, I was replacing a blue. And the guild I was in at the time, too, who was an excellent guild, by the way. The people at that guild were amazing. So if you're watching this, hi, you were great, Thunderhorn Clan. They were very happy for me, too, at the time. And... you know, I just had sort of a bunch of mishmash of clips. This is when I got Blade of Eternal Darkness when I was farming it for the Elemental Kitty thing I mentioned a while ago. This is an Atiash fight that I had got to be a part of, which was great a while back. But anyway, just a bunch of clips of a bunch of different things. I'm not going to, again, go through every single thing here because, you know, you can see what's going on. I don't need to explain it, but... I do want to say that I am going to miss Turtle WoW so much. I had an absolute blast playing this game. This is exactly the game that the fans of original World of Warcraft, or even like World of Warcraft in general, this is the version of the game that we deserved wholeheartedly. It was, in my mind, the definitive version of this game. And there will not be a better version of this game. Honestly. Like, Blizzard will not make it. And it's not because they can't make it. It's because they are going to pump it so full of, you know, in-store crap or WoW tokens or level boosts or all the stuff that ruins a game like this. And it's not going to feel the same. You know, this is why they still have classic servers open and people have just migrated to those. Because Blizzard hasn't pumped it full of bullshit yet. You know, I mean, it's not every server, and I know that they've done some things in Classic to sort of, you know, whatever they're doing, and they also had Season of Discovery, which on the surface was cool, don't get me wrong, but, you know, it's not going to be the same. And to be clear, I'm not bashing the players of World of Warcraft if you're playing retail or Classic or whatever. I am simply just stating a fact that Blizzard has gotten too far away from the intent and the creativity that they had back then, you know? And this whole Turtle WoW versus Blizzard thing was, I mean, it was crazy. Like, on the surface, it was really good that there was competition, even though it was, quote-unquote, not the best way you should be playing World of Warcraft, or not the most legit way to be playing World of Warcraft, or whatever you want to call it. The developers of this game gave us what we want, and you could have all the opinions you want in the world about Blizzard Entertainment, the company, or about Torta, who was the person who ran Turtle WoW, basically the face of it. But at the end of the day, this was the version that we all deserved. And if you didn't get a chance to play it, I'm sorry. You know, there are other versions of this now. It's essentially a clone of a clone. I'll put them up on screen because you never know what happens in life. But it does break my heart a little bit with, you know, Blizzard and Turtle WoW kind of going at it with each other. I understand legally why Blizzard had to go after Turtle WoW. You know, like, for people that don't know, for copyright, if you don't actually defend your copyright, now they wanted to go after it, and they went a little too deep, in my opinion, because Turtle WoW actually got shut down, as we all know. But because if they don't, it sets the precedence that they're saying it's okay to use their content without permission. So I get it, but I don't like the fact that they did it, and around 200,000 other people, I think it was something like that. Don't quote me on that for the number of players in Turtle WoW, but a lot of other people didn't like it. And it was just an absolute shame that this got shut down. This is the best version that we ever got of World of Warcraft. It was nuts. Like, you have Blizzard on the right, who was the original creator of this content, who created something so special back in, like, you know, 2000 and... I mean, I guess they released it in around 2004, but, like, created something so special for so many players that was so impactful that 20 years later, they still want to play that version of it today. But over the last 20 years, give or take, they got greedy. They lost a lot of the people who had that, creativity that went into it. Did a lot of shady and terrible things to fans, staff members, just the people who made the game so great in the first place, and didn't listen to the people, like the actual players of the game who wanted to play it, and have such a weird stance on everything where they're all about just trying to extract as much money from you as possible. And it's such a turnoff for a video game. It's like, why even bother, right? That's what's on the right. And then on the left, you have Turtle WoW, who did not create this game, right? Is essentially using stolen code and stolen assets to create what they've created. But the game was free to play. They were never asking for any money. They had a donation shop if you wanted to donate to them, and then they would give you like coins, which were like quality of life things. But really, you didn't need that stuff to play. Gave the fans what they want. Produced such a good quality, if you want to call it an expansion or a series of expansions for this game that fit right in with the world so perfectly, and were like doing it all for free essentially. Like for the players, it was all like they just gave it to them because they wanted it. It's just crazy to me that now it's finally gone. And I think in the back of our heads, we all had a feeling maybe it would be that way, but gone, but certainly not forgotten. I don't know what I'm going to do after I've sort of taken some time for myself and sort of figured things out a little bit. I don't know if I'm ever going to play World of Warcraft again after all this, to be honest with you, just because any MMO is a huge time sink, as we all know, but I don't have that many subscribers or followers or anything like that. So me saying this is irrelevant, again, I'm just making this for me. But if anyone has stuck it out to watching this until like this point, good for you and thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, I don't know. I still have one more video I'm going to make after this. It is about Turtle WoW. Maybe if Turtle WoW comes back in a big way, I will jump back on the bandwagon. Blizzard, I don't know if they'll ever really do it. Like if they happen to clean up their act and say like, guys, here we have Turtle WoW, we're going to continue with it, but here we're not going to do any of the stuff we've done in the past with expansions. We're not going to do any level boosts. We're not going to do any level boosts. We're not going to have any bots infesting the realms. Like if we see bots, we're going to ban them, and we're going to do it quickly and efficiently. We're going to make sure people aren't buying gold. We're going to make sure that we're adding content in a methodical way and it makes sense. We're not going to have any WoW tokens. Like if they do all that stuff, I wouldn't mind personally paying to play the game again on an official server. As I'm sure a lot of people probably wouldn't mind either, but it's just not going to happen. They got too greedy. I don't want to talk about that too much anymore. But basically, I just want to say, once again, goodbye, Turtle WoW. To everyone who I ever interacted with in this game, if you still remember these characters or me, it was a blast playing with everybody. The game itself just meant a lot to a lot of people. The final minutes when it comes up in the video, the final minutes of this game were exactly what everyone expected it to be, and I've sped this up 400% because we were all walking, not running, at least for the most part. But it is exactly what you would expect this to be. The slow and steady vibe, turtles everywhere, turtles for Turtle WoW, and it's just such a strong showing of the community that this game had. Not every moment was perfect. Not every moment was so amazing. Not every moment was so great community-wise. But it really had such a strong impact on people's lives for, 8 years, right? 5 to 8 years, because a lot of people weren't playing right from the beginning. A lot of people played when they heard about it after 2 or 3 years. I myself, I think I've been playing Turtle WoW for 4 years, if I'm remembering that math correctly, give or take. And it was a great time, I really hope that someone someday, maybe even now, sets up a proper server, makes it safe for everyone to play, has all the same sort of mindset that Turtle WoW had, maybe even continues to produce content. I don't know, but I do hope that 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 happens one day, because I would probably come back, and I'm sure a lot of people would too. But anyway, for now, I'm going to call it there. Enjoy watching the rest of the video. You know, if you weren't there for the final moments because you had something else going on in life, or you just wanted to see what happened, this was sort of the main server, quote-unquote, event that happened, where the devs and the people involved in the game and the players, a lot of players, were walking through Moonwhisper Coast together. And then eventually running through Moonwhisper Coast together. As like a final hurrah, you know? And it was very meaningful, you know? And it felt like the end of days. It really did. Anyway, I don't want to get too sappy here. Again, if you never played Turtle WoW, that's cool. If you never played retail, that's fine too. I don't care who plays what. Let's just not bash each other for it, because this is the equivalent of Blizzard shutting down World of Warcraft one day, right? And it will happen one day. You know, you may not be alive for it, but it will happen one day. Or if you are alive for it, I'm sorry, that sucked, but it will happen one day, eventually. So, you know, it's not that different. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you so much for watching all my stuff. Make sure to check out all the videos I made to try and archive this content as best we could, or as best I could, all things considered. And at the very least, this lets people see what was there until someone makes a new Turtle WoW. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you all one day in the future in another Turtle WoW. Maybe Turtle WoW 2. Maybe someone will finally make the Unreal Engine Turtle WoW that we were all hoping for, but you never know. Anyway, that's all for this video. Freestyle in a bit, no script. Thanks so much, and goodbye, Turtle WoW. We hardly knew ye.